Hello, and welcome on in. I hope you are all doing well on this, at the time of this recording, Wednesday evening. If you're having a good night or a good day, wherever it is you are in the world, remember to stay hydrated, eat some food, get some rest, take care of yourself the best that you can. That's what's really important. We are back in Ace Attorney 3 Trials and Tribulations. What I believe is to be the final case. It kicked off hard and fast last time in the opening investigation part of the case, in which a whole bunch of stuff happened. Someone that should be in prison is seemingly not in prison. Dahlia Hawthorne. Someone who I would theorize to be Misty Faye, the mother of Mia and Maya, was killed. Pearl is missing. Maya is stranded in a freezing cold underground cavern. Phoenix fell off a burning bridge and is injured, and we are now taking on the role of Miles Edgeworth, the defense attorney? And as we know, and we learned last time, Godot is actually a man named Armando, who was a defense attorney, but is now a prosecutor. So this case is about to get very weird. Presumably, it may also not be our normal judge friend, but instead our Canadian, I'm not doing that voice because I don't really think I can, judge with the glorious playoff beard from the last case. So things are all kind of out of whack. So really, we might as well just jump in. We're here, it should be trial 1, or at least the first part of trial day 1. And we are going to have to see just what crazy antics and what in the world is going on. Larry Butz, of course, has made an appearance, and I am sure will be a complicating factor in this case, as he always is, because wherever there's trouble and murder and stuff that usually involves pretty women, it's Larry is involved in some degree. So without further ado, let's hop right on into this. February 9th, 9:47 a.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 1. One second. All right. Oh my, Mr. Larice feels that way about me? Apparently, he isn't aware of your real secret at all. This is no time to be embarrassed. I'm sorry. I'm just hardly accustomed to that sort of thing. Worry not, and in any case, whatever it was that he saw on the night of the incident, mark my words, I will drag it out of him. Does that mean Mr. Larice is the witness today? No. I believe that none will be the first to take the stand. Sister Bikini? She She claims to have seen the very instant in which you carried out the crime. I just want to ask you one last time. It really wasn't you who killed Mr. Leestonim, correct? That is correct. It wasn't me. Ah, very well then. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes. You're a prosecutor, aren't you? Are you sure about this? If your true identity is revealed. Don't worry. I made the necessary arrangements. I see. Iris, it is a prosecutor's job to doubt people. But right now, I'm a defense attorney. A defense attorney's job is to believe in people and to believe until the bitter end. That's what my friend told me once. Mr. Edgeworth, I simply ask that you take and decide for yourself, that you watch and decide for yourself, whether or not I am fit to do the task I have been entrusted. Very well, sir. I leave my defense in your capable hands. Dun dun dun. February 9th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 7. Oh boy. Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Defense does indeed appear to be ready. However, the same cannot be said for the prosecution in this case. Indeed. I'm not sure I like such a blatant waste of this court's time. An empty prosecutor's chair can only mean the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove their case. It seems this case is already over before it had a chance to begin. I'm ready to announce my verdict at this time. This court finds the defendant. It is Francesca. I thought that's who he called in. The prosecution stands ready. And you are? Francesca Von Karma, prosecuting prodigy. Von Karma, you say? Can't you want to be of any relation to the legendary prosecutor Manfred Von Karma? Legends are a thing of the past. I am a Von Karma. That is all. Upon a special request, I flew in today for the purposes of prosecuting this case. Get in. You must be quite a big shot, eh? By the way, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. I'm almost certain that I've seen you somewhere before. Or am I just imagining things? You look very much like a prosecutor I met once. I believe you are imagining things, Your Honor. Von Karma, do you have anything to say? There is no such weakling as this man among those of the prosecutor's office. There isn't, but I'm sure it was before this court. I told you, there is no such weakling. What is that? A whip? I'm not sure I care for such a thing in my courtroom. Hey, remove that whip. Hold it! I have no objection to the whip. You don't? The prosecution can wield a whip or drink 17 cups of coffee. But there is still only one truth. That is what I stand here to prove today. This promises to be interesting, Miles Edgeworth. I had expected to face Phoenix Wright here today. But looking at you now, maybe this is what I have been waiting for all this time. Miles Edgeworth, I will not allow this chance to crush you slip through my fingers. I see you brought your flair for the histrionic. Let me add to the things I'm not sure about. People acting bizarrely in my court. The stage is set. Now, continue with the proceedings, Your Honor.
Very well, Miss Carmen, please give an outline of this case. With as little whipping as possible.
The murder victim is the famed picture book author Miss Elise Duny. Her body was found in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. She had been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue.
There's orders in this picture. Is this weapon in question correct? Very well, the court accepts this photo of the crime scene.
Alright. There is no mistake. This was the doing of Sister Iris. After all, there is a witness to her crime.
Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand.
And so it begins. My first and last trial as a defense attorney. She's so short. Witness, state your name and occupation, please.
Oh, hold on here, I'm not sure about being not sure if I care for this at all. Witness, please stand up nice and straight.
If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for a back pain-plagued witness.
Bailiff, fetch a crate for this poor lady, please.
Once again, your name and occupation, please. Hello, me. Well, I'm the head of Hazakura Temple on Eagle Mountain. I don't think that was her voice at all from the first part. It's gonna take a little bit to find that. My name's Bikini. You got it, Bikini. Nice to meet everyone. The death stare from the judge.
But you don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now.
The courtroom is the guardian of holy judgment. Those with lechery in their hearts should leave this sanctuary at once.
You want me to leave?
No need to get your bikinis in a twist. Let me tell you, I'm a sight to behold in summer. In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime take place on the night in question. That's right. I can still hardly believe it myself, to be honest. There's no way my dear little Iris could do anything like that.
Let's hear what you have to say then. First, tell us about your own movements that night, eh?
The night of the murder. That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back stacked up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. There's no path at the inner temple, you see, and I needed a long, hot soak. It was after I had finished, just as I was heading back, and that's when I saw it.
That was simply coincidence that you found yourself returning to Hazakura Temple.
Yes, you could say that. If my back hadn't been in so much pain, I would have stayed at the inner temple. That sounds like a pretty important statement she just made. There is only one problem with this testimony that I can see. And you're not about to fall at the first hurdle now, are you, Miles Edgeworth?
Edgeworth, please begin your cross-examination.
Alright, let's see what we can find here. Helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but... what is this inner temple? Well, see, conversing with the spirits is what we train people to do, right?
No one's asking you the questions, madam.
In order to do that, a place strong in spiritual power is required, and there's a small temple across Dusky Bridge called the Inner Temple. Acolytes must spend an entire night there to undergo intense training.
And how exactly do you help with this process?
It's not quite exacting. It can't be performed without a nun supervising.
Like a tutor, watching to make sure I spoil child's studies. A tutor with a whip, in your case. If that is the case, then why did you return to Hazakura Temple where the murder took place?
Hold it!
Violently.
That's right, it's no laughing matter, especially in the winter. I can't hold anything heavier than a knife and fork during the cold months. Just being alive is like strict training.
On the night of the murder, was this fabulous back of yours hurting again?
That's right, raging like a bull in a pig pen. I almost fainted once or twice. I just knew that unless I warmed it up, I was going to finally finish me off.
Hold it!
This is important. You left Iris to help. With what?
What do you think? The Acolyte's training, of course. It was just past 10 p.m., so we were starting to enter into the training exercises proper.
Wasn't it your place to remain with the disabled?
Well, the job is simply to watch over the Acolytes so that they don't pass away.
Just to confirm this point again, that night, you met Iris in the Inner Temple, correct?
Yes. She's a gentle, honest girl. She's never once failed to follow my directions.
Hold it!
So you returned to the Hazakura Temple in order to take a bath.
My back is to blame for everything. It's a do-or-be-done-in kind of world, after all.
How long were you in the bath for, if you don't mind me asking?
My, what a filthy little rogue you are. I know what's on your mind. I bet your next question is going to be, where exactly did you wash? This is why you have to watch the young ones.
What are you going to...
Pathetic. Miles Edgeworth?
The lowest of the low.
Is there some sort of kick-me sign stuck to the defense's bench?
Anyway, I couldn't afford to be away from my post for too long, so you understand, so... It was after I had finished, just as I headed back, that's when I saw it.
Hold it!
The crime took place in the courtyard, correct?
When you go from my room to the main hall, you have to take a winding hallway from which you can see the courtyard.
That's right. In other words, it was pure coincidence that the witness saw the crime taking place before her eyes. There was no complicated setup in this case.
That certainly seems to be true.
There's indeed only one problem with this testimony. I can clearly point out what it is, and I can begin to quantify just how good this witness's memory and observation skills are.
Alright. Let's see what I have.
Let's see. One. This part. Weather report approximately 10:50. Oh, sorry. Lightning struck the bridge at 10:45. Around 30 minutes passed between the fire starting and going out. Magic bottle. Well, I mean, there's this, right? I mean, this is kind of the problem. Blood from the stab in the back, body fell 10 feet after death. I mean, well, there's that problem, right? Like, what happened? Yeah, that is an interesting one, too. Oh. Oh. Interesting. this is what I have. So let's see. See my back. So I left Iris to help with the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. Let's see if this is the one. Which is her own statement that she didn't go.
Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on their powers of observation and memory, after all.
Well, don't worry. I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hazakura Temple.
In that case, Miss Honcho, I'd like for you to explain something for me. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant, Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all.
No. She said that...
A defendant or a witness? Who is more likely to lie, do you suppose? The defendant is simply lying to cover her back. But that is completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazakura Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi.
That is odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe that she would lie.
Well, she does indeed have honest eyes. All people lie. That is my belief. Am I the only one being whipped in here? Anyway, neither the witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie. Which means, you must call your memory into question.
Dear, you're older than me, and yet you want to play that game, do you?
Well, that isn't exactly what I...
My memory is perfect, crystal clear, especially in winter.
Then I suppose it's too early to end this cross-examination, eh? Edgeworth, if you're going to question the memory of this witness, you'll need to show me a more decisive piece of evidence. Understood, Your Honor. I was naive to think that alone would do the trick. Please add your comments about Iris to the testimony. Let us return to the cross-examination.
The training in her temple. Iris came to the inner temple. She was dressed exactly as she had been at dinner. Oh, that's interesting.
Hold it!
Are you sure that you're not making a mistake?
You, young man, need to get your estimation of me up from the floor. Iris always wears the same clothes. The smallest thing out of place would have stood out like a sore thumb to me. You're making a mistake, thinking I made a mistake.
You didn't finish there, witness. Still, I have to wonder.
Yeah, this I don't think is accurate. Because we have this.
Witness, let's get one thing straight. The defendant whom you claim to have met, she was wearing this demon-warding hood, correct?
Of course. That is a very important piece of clothing, I'll have you know. Wait a minute.
Hold it right there. Why do you have that? That's the question of the day, now isn't it, Miss Von Karma? I'll have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night, before the lights out bell was rung. What? You know where I'm going with this, don't you? If the witness had seen the defendant as she claims, then the Iris she saw should have been missing this very hood.
Well.
Oh my gosh, all the crates stacked up.
It's not a bad feeling at all, exposing contradictions like this. Now I understand that happy look on Wright's face every time he does it. Order in the car! Sister, this hood. You have spare ones around the temple, don't you?
Spares, well, I do tend to make too many of them.
So your stockpile of surplus of hoods, eh?
Each nun is only given one hood. This should be the only hood that Iris owned.
Well, this is quite strange. Er,
If there was a surplus of hoods, then she could have worn one of those. There is no contradiction here.
hmm. I'm sorry to break this to you, Miss Von Karma, but you won't get away that easily. Discrepancies such as this will sow seeds in any human heart. These seeds of doubt. Witness, while I don't wish to call your testimony into doubt, you must give every detail with precision.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable going along with this. Sister, you shall continue with your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath, on your way back to the inner temple.
Those seeds of doubt are sprouting in the judge's heart. It just needs a little more stimulation to bear fruit. Contradictory stimulation. After my bath.
I finished my bath around 11, and I thought I should return to the inner temple. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look, and Iris was, mystically.
Yeah, this doesn't make sense.
Oh, it was that sword of all things. It looks like she might actually be trying to pull it out. Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room which faces out onto the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window.
How did... Saw a truly terrible sight, didn't you? If I was in your place, that'd be much like Miss Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeworth in court.
And me seeing it all from this very chair.
Well, something like that.
This judge...
His imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe.
I would look a fool if I commented on such foolishness. Anyway, this case is mine, Miles Edgeworth.
Calling everyone by their full name. Can't you do something about that habit of yours? Let's see what we have here. You wouldn't have been able to. Maybe that's the point, too. How far is it from your room to the inner temple?
Let me think a moment. About 20 minutes on these stumps of mine. It's about 15 minutes to Dusky Bridge from Oscura Temple. The inner temple is just beyond the bridge. Still, you never made it back there that night, did you? That's right. I was heading along the walkway toward the main hall. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard.
Hold it!
What kind of noise?
You say you heard a noise.
Some, just like that.
That could be only the sound of the victim falling.
It's very quiet in the temple, you know. You can hear the snow falling from the branches. Thump just like that.
And then goodness knows you've heard when snow falling to the ground.
I never thought of that.
Wow.
The next one to laugh gets a weeping. Well, whatever the source of the sound, I looked over at the courtyard and...
Hold it!
This is the second time that the witness has testified to seeing the defendant. But some doubt remains in these claims.
Hey, just what does that mean? Just because you're a good-looking young man doesn't give you the right to...
The murderer, who stabbed the victim with a sword, says we can try to recall exactly what it was you saw as clearly as you can.
Well, you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. now that you mention it. There was something awfully strange about her. Something that's been bugging me all this time.
Please, don't keep us in suspense.
A hood?
A hood?
That's right. It's coming back to me. Iris, she wasn't wearing her hood. I thought something was out of place, but it all makes sense now, doesn't it? After all, she'd given that hood away to someone, right?
You've dug your own grave, Miles Edgeworth.
What do you say, Mr. Edgeworth? Is this testimony important? Save here. I think it is important.
This mission initially appeared to put me at a disadvantage, but I can't see any other leads at the moment. Your Honor, I'd like these new statements to be added to the testimony. Miles Edgeworth, if you want to hang yourself, you need only to ask. I'll gladly lend you my whip.
Alrighty then. Well, that escalated quickly.
I just add that statement to your testimony.
No problem. Now that you mention it, Iris didn't have her hood on.
Hold it!
You are sure about that?
Yes, after all, we always wear the same clothes. I don't mean because we're poor, you understand. It's our style, yes, that's it.
There's absolutely no need to explain yourself.
Anyway, she looked different from normal, so that really stuck out.
Like me holding a whipped puppy instead of my whip. At least that it might bite you and not someone else.
Iris didn't have her hood on, I'm sure of it.
Very well. Now, please tell us about the victim, eh?
Boot, yeah.
Tell us about the victim, eh?
Mr. Gillies was staying in the corner room.
Hold it!
Where the victim was staying and overlooked the courtyard, correct?
Means the victim's room was on the second floor.
No, Hazagora Temple is a single-story building, but the mountain itself slopes downward, which elevates the main gate side of the temple and the guest rooms at the back. About the height of a two-story building.
I see. The victim was staying in one of these elevated rooms, correct?
Yes, I should know. I'm the one who carried her things to her room after all.
How did you know she was pushed out of the window, though?
Hold it!
What makes you so sure of all this?
It's just like I told you earlier. I heard a noise from the courtyard. Okay. Thump, just like that.
You're one smart sister, I'll give you that. The autopsy report states that the victim's body was covered in bruises, indicating a fall from around 10 feet in height.
It appears that the witness was not mistaken.
Yep, it's more than just a pretty face. Especially in winter. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hazakura Temple.
There's only 2 of them working there. What's wrong, Miles Edgeworth? No snappy comeback remark? Doesn't feel like she's lying. It's very powerful testimony, too. She claims to have seen the instant in which the defendant stabbed the victim. The only 2 things I can believe in right now, my client Iris and my own abilities as a defense attorney.
I wonder, like I said, I'm wondering about this. Well, I'm wondering about this because, in essence, he couldn't have done that. I'm gonna guess this doesn't do anything. No. Okay. That's what I thought. That doesn't work. Returned to the inner temple. As I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look and... Iris was the sort of all things. Now that you mention it, Iris didn't have her hood on. It was at like 11 p.m. The night of the crime. This. No. Okay. Okay. This is the thing I added. I'm gonna stick this again here. Does that mean just because you're good looking? Recall exactly what was you saw as clear as you can. Iris didn't have her hood on. Well, we have the sword. What am I thinking? Regional weather report. It's not that. But that's not facing the room, right? Right. I mean, it is spun around. Okay. There's no one else I really have, right? No. Courtyard. No. I just don't know where I'm trying to go here. After she was pushed out her window. Not the picture either. Like this is the hard part because I don't actually really know what it's actually wanting me to find. The contradiction.
Hold it!
Just 11. Look at this timeline. We're not there yet talking about like the fact that the bridge was burning. Right. Like how would she have gotten back if it took place then? Oh, I wonder, is that what it's looking for? Is the weather report? I don't know, dude. No. And the weather data isn't. It's not it either. What am I thinking? So is it the thing that we've added? Hold on, let me try pressing this again. You sure about that? Yes, after all, we always wear the same clothes. Explain yourself. Anyway, she looked different from normal, so that really stuck out. Iris didn't have her hood on. In the corner room, which is the courtyard. Horns. After she was pushed out of her window. We don't have anything here either. This, I heard a noise in the courtyard. Autopsy report. Looking a full from around 10 feet. To them. Seems to have seen the incident. So let's see, hold on. What am I thinking? What is there? Hold on. There's a map. We don't have a map actually of that place. Weather data, magazine, autopsy report, Iris's testimony. Maybe go to the freaking. Maybe I'm overthinking it. We need to present the hood again. No, that's correct. Okay. Inner temples, walking back. Iris was. What am I thinking? Why can't I figure this out? Joe's Hazakura Temple. It's not the map. Okay. I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna just have to process of elimination for this one because I cannot figure out what it's looking for, or if this is this. And it wasn't this either, right? Which proves that she occasionally doesn't. No, yeah. Courtyard. I just didn't have her hood on. Think. Here, let me save here, actually. Just so I'm here at the moment. Sword. No. Weather data. No. It may not be the statement is the thing. It's not this. What am I missing? On Iris's testimony. Oh, hold on. Nope, I see what it is. I see what it is. I see what it is. Read your evidence. I'm staying in the corner room which faces onto the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out her window. Except it couldn't have. This is so easy if I had just read it. Read the evidence.
Impressive logic. That's what I'd like to say anyway.
Oh, please do. My brain is something else, especially in winter.
However, I think you're overlooking one thing. Miss Von Karma, would you be as kind to take another look at the autopsy report? Is the autopsy report? The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed.
That's right, it says after death right here.
The scene the witness claims to have seen is contradictory. If the defendant stabbed and killed the victim there in the courtyard, how did the victim then go on to take a 10-foot fall?
Indeed.
Order, order. The victim was killed and then fell. If that is the case, the victim must have been killed in her room, don't you agree?
That is the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room. And she was then thrown out of her window, down into the courtyard below. Were there any signs of a struggle in Miss Durham's room? She was stabbed with a sword that would leave a blood stain, wouldn't you agree?
Well, Miss Von Karma, is there any blood?
No traces of blood were found in the victim's room.
Your whip has just caused traces of blood to be found in my glorious playoff period. However, there's no blood in the room.
I'm sure there's no need for me to go over this, as I'm sure your honor is well aware of when a stab wound produces the most blood.
When it produces the most blood.
Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the blood will be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed. Indeed, with the weapon still in place, it acts like a lid on the wound.
That's true, with the weapon still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. Perfectly reasonable line of thinking.
We have come to a conclusion then. The victim was thrown out of the window with the sword still in place. This removes all of the contradictions.
Order, order, order. I must admit that this is a probable version of events.
I'd expect no less from Francesca von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point.
It seems that we need a clearer testimony from the witness. Remove all supposition on your part and tell us only the facts, please. Witness, please. Remain standing on the crate.
Don't go selling me short now. The weight of winter snow has bent me out of shape. especially my back and my mood.
Sister, please give us your testimony. I will give you a vigorous massage once we are finished here. With the whip.
Oh boy, all right, all right.
Further details.
When I look across at the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise.
I've never seen so much blood before.
That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? And when I awoke, Mystic Army was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back.
So it confirms Miss Von Karma's theory.
Von Karmas strive for nothing but perfection. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Miles Edgeworth. Perfection is an impossibility for Francesca Von Karma. And I'm here to teach you just that.
Let's see what we can find out here.
Place. At that time, was the victim bleeding?
Well, I was very shocked to be seeing all this, of course, so I'm not entirely sure. But I don't think I saw any blood, not then.
I'm sure that you didn't. The weapon was acting as a plug in the wound. In any case, let's be clear on one very important point. Did you actually see the instant in which the victim was stabbed? I didn't actually see her stab, Mr. Think carefully, this is very important.
It's Iris we're talking about here. I'm thinking for all I'm worth. No, when I looked over, the sword was already in Mystic Elise's body.
It might not be conclusive, but this testimony supports her theory. The victim was stabbed in her room and then dropped into the courtyard. I think this proves it rather well, Miles Edgeworth. So you're saying that you saw the victim's blood?
That's right. Some of it had splattered onto Iris, too.
When the defendant was arrested, she was meditating in her room, and her blood-flecked clothing was neatly folded in the corner. What? Her clothes were blood-flecked as well.
That seems quite conclusive to me.
What should I do? Press this point further? Here, because we made it further. Going back to your previous statement, you said that you saw little bleeding when the victim was stabbed, but now you say you saw the victim bleeding.
Well, I say that what I saw is what I saw.
What did you see?
Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed, but I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day.
That's it. Which is what I thought. Yeah, I think it's pulling it out.
Pulling the sword out?
Well, it wasn't exactly pulling. It was more like it came out.
Did you add this name into your testimony?
Oh, it's that important?
More important than you can imagine.
Watch the blade plunged into the hilt. Was smoothly drawn out.
Smoothly, you say? You're saying you saw the sword smoothly slide out?
That's right. The whole thing happened right next to the gold statue of Mystic Army. Mystic Elise was on the ground and the Iris was stooped over her. The sword was buried up to the hilt. When Iris stood up, the sword in her hand just slid out of Mystic Elise's body. It's the doubt from that gaping wound.
It goes without saying that if the sword was removed, there would be bleeding.
Nothing out of place here.
Is that really the case? I can't help but feel that something about this testimony is very out of place. That something which couldn't possibly have happened appears to have happened.
Indeed. Yeah, something is definitely wrong here. I mean, just the shape of that sword shouldn't let it slide out very easily. I mean, heck, to be fair, it should be very hard to stab someone with a sword that's shape. Something is very wrong here. Well, also the blood isn't buried to the hilt on this either.
Sister Bikini, you are a reliable witness. At least, I'd like to think so. But there are too many contradictions here.
What do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you.
What contradictions are you talking about? In the scene that the witness claims to have seen, the weapon was thrust up to the hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities.
What do you mean, please?
Explain yourself. To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how you look at it, the defendant, she doesn't appear strong enough for that.
It doesn't appear, but meaningly triple. I too may appear to be weak and frail, but I can crush men under my heel and make them weep, should I so choose.
Objection stands. I looked a little back there, I must admit.
That isn't the only issue here. If this sword was truly stabbed into the body up to the hilt, well, just look at all the branches on it. It certainly wouldn't come out smoothly.
Yeah, apparently the judge has really come around to the whipping since the start of the trial. Which is, good for him, I guess.
Zits. We also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when a blade is left in a body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop the bleeding.
Also very true.
It's nothing more than conjecture. In reality, the victim was stabbed with shishichito. Even a weapon of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly, and may still sometimes stop the blood loss. I'm not finished. There is still one more conclusive contradiction.
You still got more.
This one is simple. If this sword really was thrust and all the way to the hilt, why is there only blood on the tip of it? If this witness is telling the truth, then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword.
Order.
Bravo, Miles Edgeworth. Raising this many contradictions from a single piece of evidence. All the other attorneys I know could maybe manage fun, if that.
What does all this mean? Can't prove contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but
Having come this far, there can only be one answer. And that is, the weapon used to kill the victim was not the shishichito.
what?
Foolish idea born from the foolish mind of a foolhardy, foolish fool. Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think this sword was the murder weapon?
Well, it's because Mr. Carmi was holding it.
Exactly. However, if you reflect on this, That is only the basis we have to assume. That is the only basis we have to assume such a thing. The impression left by the scene was just too strong. This is what influenced us. It influenced us to believe that the Shishichito was the murder weapon.
Order.
So maybe the Shishichito was not the murder weapon. Even if that is the case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeworth. The sister here saw everything. She saw the defendant stab the victim with a sword-like object.
That's true. Response, Mr. Edgeworth.
If that is so, I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises.
The obvious question.
Yes, namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to? Goes without saying that police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us to as if a sword-like object was found.
That's...
Answer the question, Miss Von Karma.
no evidence of that kind was found.
Another mystery to throw onto the pile. Child without a murder weapon is a tricky beast.
Excuse me, could I say something? I just remembered something, actually. What is it, sister? I was just thinking, it's possible, just maybe what actually happened was, it was just over there.
What exactly are you going on about here?
The murder weapon, I mean, maybe. I think I might know where the sword was disposed of.
You what?
Well then, I think we need to hear testimony from you one more time, sister.
Impossible. What else? What else could this woman have seen?
Location of the weapon.
I saw that murder. I saw the murder at around 11 p.m. And after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there I saw tracks that indicated a snowmobile had been used.
Snowmobile was a thing. We did notice that it had seemingly been used.
It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out.
Is that what Larry saw? That's what Larry saw, didn't he?
Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile after all.
Ines, please tell us everything you know right away next time.
Well, I'm not in the best of shape. What with my back and my age, you know. Quite. There were indeed snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. It is a photograph.
There's footprints as well, though.
Snowmobile, eh? I see. Well, it certainly is an interesting theory.
It's hard to really tell because, like, it's hard to see whether the footprints actually, like, are the snowmobile tracks over the footprints, or are the footprints over the snowmobile tracks?
The tracks begin in front of Hazakura Temple and run all the way to Dusky Bridge. That solves your pesky little problem, yes? The Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in winter, making it the perfect place to dispose of the murder weapon. Did she really go to the river to dispose of the murder weapon?
Edgeworth, your cross-examination, please.
And we have to eventually get to the fact that the timing isn't working out here. So many photographs. It's hard to tell, although it looks like it's possible that the tracks are actually over the footprints. Well, also, hold on. There's only one track. As, like, it came there. Which means it would have had to have left while it was snowing. Okay.
Hold it!
Let's see.
You're sure about that time?
Yes, I was worried about it after all.
Why was that?
Because I have a strong sense of responsibility, especially at this time of year. Darklight was being doused in freezing water at the time. I couldn't very well take it easy in the bath all night now, could I? So at 11 I decided to leave Hazakura Temple.
Your estimation of the time seems reliable at least.
Please continue, sister.
I went down to the main gate.
Hold it!
You asked Phoenix Wright to report the crime, correct?
Right, the one who trampled me.
Seems she is the type to hold a grudge.
There isn't a phone in the main hall, so I sent her to the bridge.
Phoenix Wright? He didn't even have his cell phone on him. He had forgotten it at home, apparently.
Oh, you can see the little, I just noticed you can see the little pin on Edgeworth, the defense attorney pin.
What a naive boy, as always. Not only do I always carry my phone, but I always have my Veep in hand too.
Anyway, I was really scared, and it was taking a while to get back, so I thought I'd go out by the main gate for a spell. And there I saw tracks.
Hold it!
As I recall, there was a snowmobile outside the main gate when I visited.
Light dusting on it, but not as much, so it had kept snowing in the night. Right, which we know it did snow, because we have the weather report. Okay. I'm starting to see the vision, and by starting to see, I mean I still have no idea where this is going.
That's it, that's the only one we have. It'll run no matter how much snow falls.
Are you certain someone over there was at the main gate when you arrived?
Yes, of course, it was parked in front of the gate.
So she had already gone, discarded the murder weapon, and returned by that time? I'm not sure if this is really relevant. What should I do?
Actually, do you want to press further here, I think.
I need answers to every possible doubt. The snowmobile in question, was it still warm at that time?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
You mean it?
What do you mean, Miles Edgeworth? I'm playing to a snow crowd here. It goes without saying, choosing a snowmobile will heat its engine. If it was still warm, then it means it was recently used.
Ah, I see. I never thought of that.
That's right, I overlooked that too.
Of course, you did. And answer the question, please, witness.
I don't often go around touching hot engines. However, now that you mention it, there wasn't any snow on it.
Snow?
Yep.
Yes, for some reason, only the snowmobile wasn't covered in snow.
So it had been used recently.
There wasn't any snow on it. Curses.
It's highly likely that the killer did use the snowmobile then, eh?
How long does it take to get to the Dusky Beach by snowmobile?
It takes 15 minutes to walk, but less than 5. Using one of those.
Hold it!
In that case, why didn't you use it yourself? You could have spared yourself some walking.
There's a reason for that. Have we got a moment for me to explain?
I think that's why the question was asked in the first place.
It was about a month ago. I was driving my beloved little snowmobile, happy as can be. I'd fetched some water and was heading back when I went and crashed into a tree. The tree and my back both went crunch, just like that. Crunch.
Crunch.
I haven't been able to find the courage to ride anything since then. Anyway, the killer must have used it.
Hold it!
Something is wrong here.
Refresh our memory. How long were you knocked out for?
Like I said, somewhere between 10 to 20 minutes.
It is possible to get to the bridge and back in 10 minutes using the snowmobile. I have to concede that it is more than enough time. Is that all you wish to concede, Miles Edgeworth?
Hold it!
While it would have been possible time-wise, what element remains out of place here?
And what would this mystery element be?
The killer's reasoning, Your Honor. Why did the killer do all of this? Why go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon when there are other methods?
There are many unanswered questions. Response, Miss Von Karma.
Turning to me for help over the slightest scene. Why don't you think for yourself once in a while, Your Honor?
What?
She's as over the top as always. Anyway, whatever the reason, the fact remains that the defendant could have done this. The murder weapon was disposed of in the river. Another point to me, Miles Edgeworth. Another mystery to feed the fire. Was there any reason to go and throw away the murder weapon? Luckily, there was surely a problem with his testimony. I'm afraid to start poking holes in this flawed account.
Let's see. After asking the letter reported, I went out to the main gate. There I saw tracks that had been used. Let me see if this is where we actually want to talk about this, because I can see that there's potential problems with this photo.
Objection!
No, it's not this one. Okay. Let's see. Looks like indicate the snowmobile had been used. It's 15 minutes long, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon to reroll over and came back while I was knocked out. Is this new?
Hold it!
No, I must have clicked it. I just didn't read the whole thing. Snowmobile after all. Bring the lights. Take a look at this photo. It definitely would appear like the tracks run over them, like they came back afterwards. But there's only one, right? The snowmobile came back. But we aren't seeing the tracks from when the snowmobile left, which suggests the snowmobile left before the most recent coat of snow, which would have been a while. Huh. came back while I was knocked out. Would have taken 10 minutes. Less than 5 using one of those. Oh, hold on. Maybe it's this. Hold on. Maybe they. Hold on. No. Some wheel have been used. Where did I see that? Hold on. Went out to the main gate, and there I saw tracks that indicated the snowmobile had been used. It takes 2 minutes to walk to Dusty Ridge for less than 5 using one of those. We made it through the Weapon D River and came back while I was knocked out. Yes. Okay. This should be where the problem lies, isn't it? Yeah.
I admit this photograph proves something. It proves that the snowmobile was used on the night of the murder.
You have finally accepted the inevitable, it seems, Miles Edgeworth.
However, if what the witness says is true, then why is there only one set of tracks?
What do you mean?
Iris left Hazakura Temple, threw the weapon into the river, and then returned. If this was the case, then naturally there should be 2 sets of tracks in the snow. Those from heading out to the bridge, and those from coming back.
You're right. You are forgetting one thing, Miles Edgeworth. On the night of the murder, it was snowing. The tracks leading to the bridge were erased by the snowfall. This removes your precious contradiction, now doesn't it?
I see, while she was at the river, the snow stopped. Leaving just the return tracks in the snow.
Something's not right.
What do you have to say now, Miles Edgeworth?
Is there a flaw in her theory?
Hold on. Is there a flaw? What does the weather report say? Snow 7 to approximately 10:50. No, because it should have already. Yes, there is. It should have already ended. So yes.
The idea that the snowfall covered one set of tracks.
There's a contradiction.
The tracks to the river were covered by snow. What a nice theory. However, Miss Von Karma, that is impossible.
But you care to explain why there is a viewed index finger currently pointed in my general direction?
No need. The evidence will do all the talking for me.
The night of the murder, the killer went to and returned from Dusky Bridge, or to dispose of the murder weapon. The outgoing tracks are erased by snow, or so claims Miss Von Karma. Edgeworth, present your evidence to the contrary, eh? The outgoing tracks were not covered by snow.
This should be the answer.
Witness, please tell us again what time it was when you witnessed the crime.
Like I said, it was around 11.
Of course, this means the weapon was stowed away after that time, correct? On that note, please take a look at this data. It is the weather report for Eagle Mountain on the night of the murder.
Weather report.
The snow started to fall at 7, but it stopped at around 10:50. Therefore, when the sister witnessed the crime at 11 p.m., the snow had already stopped falling. It is impossible for any tracks made after that time to have been covered up.
Order. Very well then. Looks like Miss Von Karma's claim has been snowed in.
It's too soon to be closing this trial due to snow. Miles Edgeworth, how pathetic of you to rely on the weather of all things. Answer me this then.
when is the weather report ever correct?
No, you got it all wrong. This isn't a forecast, this is actual data.
Forecast data. All weather reports have some inaccuracies. It may have still been snowing in the vicinity well past 11 p.m.
True, we cannot be totally sure, eh?
What? How did she pull that off?
It had stopped snowing at Hazakura Temple when the murder took place. We provide conclusive evidence of this.
We need to provide conclusive evidence. What do I have? Oh, the body. The body's not covered in snow. Yeah, the body's not covered in snow.
I've come this far. There's no turning back now. Very well. I too cannot allow any doubt to remain concerning this testimony. You can't back down, can you? Such a perfectionist, Miles Edgeworth.
Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. Where's your evidence that it already stopped snowing when the victim was killed?
Prime photo.
Take that!
Ultimately, it all comes down to one point. That being, whether or not it was snowing in that courtyard when the victim was stabbed. That's right. But providing that is incredibly easy. If we want to know whether it was snowing or not, this photo will tell us everything. Of course, I am referring to the photo of the crime scene. As you can see, everything is covered in snow, with just one exception. And that is the victim herself, Miss Elise Deneva. Why is there no snow on top of her? The answer is simple. It had stopped snowing when she was killed, that's why. In other words, if the killer really did go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon, then in this photograph, there would be two sets of tracks.
Order.
Just what are you suggesting, Miles Edgeworth? To be honest, I'm not entirely sure myself, but this is simply what all of the facts point to. That night, someone used the snowmobile to leave Hazakura Temple. When the tracks left, it can be understood that they were heading for Dusky Bridge. At that time, it was still snowing. Of course it was, because those tracks were erased by the snow. Then, when this person returned to Hazakura Temple, the snow had stopped. Thus, the return tracks remained.
Can I say something? This all sounds a bit fishy to me.
What does, sister?
There's only one key for the snowmobile.
Furthermore, on the night in question, we know that the defendant had it. The key was found in her room after the murder.
Which can only mean that night Iris used the snowmobile to go to the inner temple.
But Iris said that she never went there. I'll probably press on this point some more when I get the chance.
The snowmobile can't cross the suspension bridge, so she must have left it on the Hazakura side of the bridge and crossed on foot.
That sounds right.
But what odd is, when I left Iris and returned to Hazakura Temple, I didn't see anything near Dusky Bridge.
You must have failed to see it, sister.
Maybe, but when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, It was there by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean.
Oh?
I know what I saw. It was covered in snow too.
But that is impossible.
Order in the court. What does this all mean?
So then, what was the snowmobile used for? If it wasn't taken by the defendant when she went to the inner temple. If it had been, then the witness couldn't possibly have seen it by the gate. Furthermore, it wasn't used by the killer to dispose of the murder weapon. If that was the case, there should be 2 sets of tracks in this photo. All we know is this. After it stopped snowing, someone used the snowmobile to return to Hazakura Temple. I never thought a simple snowmobile could cause so much trouble.
I think we've learned all we can from this witness.
Yes. I have nothing more to add. I've told you everything that I know.
And then that still leaves us with the same problem. Only there was someone who could testify to having seen the snowmobile.
A witness, huh?
Is there no one out walking, perhaps near Dusky Bridge on that night?
Judge is actually advancing the plot. That's crazy.
I don't think that's likely. It was cold enough to freeze her ears off. Only an idiot would go out wandering in that.
Oh boy, do we know an idiot.
Unless they had something really important to do.
It's a shame.
Hold on. Something is coming to me. An idiot may well have gone wandering out in the subarctic night. Your Honor, actually, there just might be one individual who may be of help to us.
Really?
You know of someone who might have seen the snowmobile on the night of the murder?
I don't know for sure if he saw it or not, but there are 2 things about him that do come to mind.
Jar.
First, that he saw something incredible on the night of the murder.
And the second being?
This individual that I am thinking of went wandering outside on the cold night. In other words, he's our kind of idiot.
Edgeworth, who is this idiot we're talking about?
It's Larry.
This guy must be a product of Jean-Luc Deluc-Duc's kind of obnoxious French painting.
This is Larry Butz, a disciple of the victim Elise Dunim.
A student. Interesting. Why was he wandering about outside on the night of the murder?
That's... oh boy. I could tell them all about his designs for Iris, but it may cost us his credibility as a witness before I even call him. He is, after all, an artist. He was perhaps searching for something in that snowy scenery that would move him. Although I cannot guarantee that this is the reason.
And so, this unfortunate, unreliable-looking man, what exactly was it that he saw?
I intend to extract that from him right here in this courtroom.
Summon this youth as a witness immediately.
I have no choice, do I?
I believe he is in the gallery for this trial. It will not take a long time to summon him.
Very well.
Larry, you may have escaped me yesterday, but today I'm going to get everything out of you.
That's right, he had the Cyclops we weren't able to bust.
Court will now adjourn for a 20-minute break. On Karma, please see the preparing the next witness.
Understood, Your Honor.
Good. Well then, court is now in recess.
To be continued right away. We gotta keep going. Save your progress. All right. February 9th, 11:15 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 1.
Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm not really sure what to say.
Iris, we only have 20 minutes. There are 2 things which I need to ask you before we reconvene.
All right. I'll help you any way I can.
First, about that night. He really didn't go to the inner temple, correct? That witness claims to have met and talked with you in the training hall. Either you or Sister Bikini is lying.
Mr. Edgeworth, it is just as I said yesterday. Until the incident occurred, I was in my room in Hazakura Temple.
Very well. The second thing then, that night, the temple snowmobile was used in between the time Sister Bikini returned to the main hall and when she bore witness to the murder, sometime between 10:30 and 11 p.m. that night. Were you the one who used the snowmobile?
There's only one key for the snowmobile. The only person who could have used it was me.
So it was you. But why? What made you go out to Dusky Bridge?
I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth.
Are you right now? Oh, jeezums.
Iris.
I can't tell you about that yet.
Yet.
Not until her safety is confirmed.
Her.
The safety of the Acolyte.
The Acolyte, huh? She must be talking about Maya.
Something is definitely not right.
Iris, look me in the eye and tell me the truth. Did you kill Elise Dunim?
No matter who or what may come, I could never take a life.
I'm not so sure about that.
As I thought, no psychologs. Very well. It is my job to get to the truth. You'll discover this for yourself soon enough.
I must go back in. Figure out just what's hiding. The 2 of them are hiding a lot. And now I'm wondering whether Maya's actually in the inner temple. All right. Bard will now reconvene. This is Mount Karma. Where's the witness?
During the break, a man was detained for suspicious behavior in the gallery. Suspicious behavior? He was sketching something very intensely.
May I ask when the witness was sketching when he was detained?
He drew a terrifying woman armed with a demonic face and a vicious whip.
Sounds familiar. Just a little.
I can only presume that his intention was to capture...
Anyway, it's time to drag this pathetic excuse for an artist before the court.
Alright, Larry.
Loris Donim, I hope you're ready. Get in here. It would seem that whip is going to see plenty more use today.
I'm sure Larry will enjoy it. He just gives off those vibes.
Ouch. Your sketch is in contempt of this court.
Hey! That was just artistically. Ow!
You tried to run away from the bailiff who was trying to hand you your subpoena, correct?
Look, I'm nothing but a fledgling artist, trading out in the mountains. I'm only down here in the city because I ran out of green paint. Well, to use the technical term for the color, Viridian. Viridian Forest? He's trying to catch a Pikachu.
Larry, this isn't an art store, now is it?
I know. I graduated junior high, okay? Look, art is all about working in the fields, isn't it?
Working in the fields?
I presume you wanted to say field work, I hope.
That's it. Thanks, buddy.
It's kind of sad that I was able to understand his mangled train wreck of a sentence.
I just happened to stop in here and found a wonderful new model. So, see, I've got nothing to do with this trial at all. I expect all of your faces to be red when you realize this mistake. Bright red. Or, to use the technical term, Crimson Lake. Ouch! Ow! Ow!
Ow!
Stop your pathetic blabbing and testify like a man.
Free from whipping me, Miss Von Karma. Cross-whipping is as bad as cross-checking. Witness, it was all your fault. Testify now.
This is too much for me. What did Larry see? I was at the lodge out in the mountains, looking up at the stars that night. I walked to the bridge a number of times, but I didn't see a snowmobile. Stuttered over that word. I didn't see anyone at the bridge that night either. The girl I was waiting for didn't show up. My teacher died on me. I'm all alone now. Aren't I edgy?
Witness, please refrain from talking directly to the lawyers during your testimony.
I'm just a nobody. Nothing but a small, worthless man, aren't I? And why wasn't I asked for my name and occupation or anything else?
Edgeworth, this man seems to have quite a severe inferiority complex.
He's recently been the cause of numerous incidents. I think he's finally realized for himself just how much of a nuisance he has been to other people.
Yeah, that's right. I'm behind everything, every case. Watch out, okay? Just touching me will make you internally unhappy.
Well then, let's proceed with the cross-examination with no touching, thank you. You can delve into other details at a later time.
Alright, Larry. Stumble over a snowmobile.
Hold it!
Whatever is the matter, Mr. Edgeworth?
This one single statement is so full of contradictions. For a moment there, I thought I was going to collapse. So, witness, any idea as to where these contradictions in your testimony lie? Depending on your answer, I may stay my view.
Okay, give me a minute. Well, it was snowing that night, so I couldn't possibly have seen the stars. That rundown shack is hardly a lodge, is it? And even if the stars could be seen, it isn't like I was there to look at them, right? That's one way of it. Just the witness just completely is like, yeah, I'm full of shit. You got me.
See? You can do it if you try.
Ow!
There is only one issue here. What you saw at Dusky Bridge.
I walked to the bridge a number of times, but...
Hold it!
A number of times? How many?
Maybe 5 times. I went once every 20 minutes. Every 20 minutes? What the?
Which means you spent almost 2 hours at Heavenly Hall that night?
You bet. Real love is about waiting with your heart in your hands.
Love, you say?
It was this man's intention to summon the defendant to the small shack, using this blackmail letter.
Blackmail?
No, that was simply a product of
Your huffy-puffy, loosey-goosey excuse for a whimpering, whining voice of a witness.
So what did you see? For your sake, you saw a snowmobile? Your huffy-puffy, loosey-goosey excuse for a whimpering, whining wuss of a witness, eh?
Well, you see.
Being called those names doesn't seem to bother him at all.
Kind of stuttered over that, huh?
Larry, you really didn't see it?
Hey, no need to hit your desk. I can hear you. I didn't see it. I didn't see us in a snowmobile. Keep stuttering over snowmobile.
Larry, say snowmobile for me, please.
Snowmobile?
If you truly have nothing to hide, then why are you stammering like you just flew over a cuckoo's nest?
Shut up! Oh, what is this? I don't know. Don't ask me.
It means that we'll need to start from a more obvious contradiction. Only to strike the blow that will finally get him to spill the beans. I didn't see anyone at the bridge that night either.
I don't think that's true.
You didn't meet anyone.
That's right, because I've got nothing to do with this. And I'm just here to buy some Viridian paint, okay? Come on. I expect to see those Crimson Lake faces now.
It would appear that simply pressing him isn't going to be enough, Mr. Edgeworth.
Indeed. It seems that he's going to claim to have nothing to do with this to the end. I don't want this guy to cost us any more time. I need to slice through his obvious contradictions and keep things moving along.
We know that one's a no.
I didn't see anyone at the bridge that night either.
Which is, I think this is the lie, by the way. We'll safety save here, but I'm pretty sure this is the lie. Because Phoenix.
Larry Butz, I can understand why you might want to throw your old life away. You're pretty pathetic, and you cause all sorts of trouble.
I'm sorry.
But having realized just how much of a nuisance you have been, that could be considered a step in the right direction.
Edgy, are you trying to console me?
Certainly doesn't sound that way to me.
However, I cannot forgive you for simply turning away from the incidents you create.
You're totally pinning this on me.
Now then, let us talk about the night of the murder. Sister Bikini, after seeing the murder take place, asked Phoenix Wright to report it. Thus, he headed for the public phone by the bridge. There, he happened across a certain nefarious individual. You, Larry Butz.
That's right, me in the flesh.
Listen carefully, witness. Doesn't matter if you change your name. As long as you remain pretty pathetic, you will continue to cause these incidents. That reality will not change.
All of a sudden, we put the court case to the side on pause, and this is now an intervention with Larry. What do you want me to do then?
Larry, what you need to change is your inner self. But for now, what you saw that night, testifying truthfully about this one issue is all I need from you.
Edgy, I think I've finally woken up. Well, I guess I could still be sleeping. But anyway, I'll do it. I'll testify. Well, I'm not sure this will go especially well.
I'll ask again then, witness. What did you see on the night of the murder?
What I saw, part 2. I went to the shack at around 9, so it would have been about 10:30 p.m.
I was lying under my bedding when a white flash almost blinded me.
That'd be the lightning. Oh my gosh, he's got like chips, manga, tangerines. Oh my god. Why was he sleeping out there though?
I looked out the window and Dusky Bridge was on fire. There was still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out. That's when I ran into Nick.
Well, there's a big problem here. It's an absolutely huge problem. He said 10:30.
You certainly saw quite a lot, didn't you?
So, what happened to the bridge after it caught on fire? It was like me after a 3-day stint chasing a girl. I had totally burned out, like almost totally gone. I mean, trying to cross the burning remains was what caused Nick to fall. What did you say? Oh, don't worry. It's nothing life-threatening. You just caught a cold. I never know with that man if he should be called lucky or unlucky.
Now, Mr. Edgeworth, please commence your cross-examination.
Alright. This one seems somewhat straightforward. There's an obvious contradiction that I can see. It would have been about 10:30 p.m. I was lying under my bedding. I looked out the window, and Dusty Bridge was on fire. There's still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out. That's when I ran into Nick. Do I have anything here that can contradict this? I mean, that did go till approximately 11, the lightning. Oh, right, it says Dusky Bridge at 10:45. Yeah. Okay, so it might be the very first thing. Would have been about 10:30, which we know is not true. But knowing my luck, it's gonna say that's not what we're looking for right now.
Objection!
Yep, that's not what it's looking for. Okay, let's just start pressing then and see what we find.
What did you do out there in the cold for an hour and a half? Well, if you really must know, I was busy being excited, I guess.
Excited. Dare I even ask?
I set the meeting time as 10 p.m., right? But I couldn't wait, and I thought she might come early too. Well, it appears she didn't come at all in the end. Because they never arranged to meet in the first place, did they? Shut up! Don't go picking my fond memories apart. Anyway, I was getting a little worried. I thought maybe Iris had lost her way. So every 20 minutes or so I went out to the bridge. When I didn't see anything particularly suspicious, I didn't have anything else to do, so I went back to the shack to wait for her.
It's like I'm remembering when a white flash almost blinded me. Or I could be this.
This light was, of course, lightning, like kapow, like a slap from Naomi, honestly, a big bada boom. Or a little like that. That's more like a punch from Miranda.
When did you actually see the lightning hit the bridge?
Well, I was a bit startled by the flash of the light, so I looked out the window and Dusky Bridge was on fire.
That's interesting.
Seeing that, what did you do? What do you think? I was burning up as well from the fire in my heart. And that's why you went to take a look at the bridge? Well, to be honest, it was freezing cold, so at first I thought, forget it, I'm not leaving my covers. But it had pretty much stopped snowing, so I don't know, I changed my mind.
Not sure I care for the forget it attitude you had at first witness.
There was still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out.
His time is all over the place, but then I don't know where the contradiction comes from.
You said right away, but exactly how long after the strike was that? When the lightning fell and the bridge caught on fire, maybe around 5 minutes. I mean, I suddenly thought, gotta go check this out.
How far is the small shack you were in from the bridge? Hold on, well, it pretty much stopped snowing. I guess about a 5-minute walk.
And how did Dusky Bridge look when you got there?
Well, like it had recovered a piece of my childhood. I mean, not even the bonfires kids make during school camp trips can compare.
Should I press him a little for a little more info?
A hard one. Why didn't you call anyone? Why did you go to the bridge? Why did you call anyone?
Larry, let me ask you one thing.
What is it, Edgy? What's with the serious face?
Why did you call anyone?
Oh, what do you mean?
Normally, when faced with a towering inferno, one would try and tell someone. There's a public phone right by Dusky Bridge, correct?
Well, of course, I thought of doing that.
Then let's hear why you didn't.
Yeah, okay. My reason isn't that I didn't try to tell anyone, I just didn't have time to, okay? I arrived at the bridge and Nick showed up less than a minute later.
You claim to arrive at the bridge at the same time as Wright.
Yeah, I thought I'd better tell someone about this. But Nick came up yelling about murder. It only made me forget about the bridge.
Yeah, something with time is off.
The fire was pretty much out by then anyway.
What's this feeling? I suddenly have a terrible case of unease.
It was after contacting the police that Phoenix Wright fell from the bridge, correct? Yeah, that's pretty much it. More or less.
You told me about the burning bridge yesterday. There's still something that doesn't quite fit. It looks like, despite his change of heart, Larry still isn't telling us the whole truth.
I went to the shack around 9, so it would have been at 10:30 p.m. We know this isn't accurate. Let me just save here. I was lying under my bedding. Almost blinded me. I looked out the window, Dusky Bridge was on fire. There was still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out. I ran to the bridge and Nick showed up less than a minute later. Can I use this as the point? Yeah, okay, great.
Your very existence being a contradiction, I'm not sure if you can grasp this or not.
What the hey, Veggie? Hey, you make me sound like some sort of alien.
But your testimony is conclusively contradictory. The problem here is time.
I've never been the best timekeeper, you know. 3 minutes after Billy leaves on foot, you follow him on your bicycle. How long does it take for you to catch up with him? Terrible at those.
This is much more simple. You saw the lightning strike Dusky Bridge, and immediately went to see what had happened. Is this correct?
Yeah, well, I wasted about 5 minutes first, but more or less.
I have the weather data from the night of the murder here. According to this, the lightning fell at 10:45 p.m. You say it takes less than 5 minutes from the shack to Dusky Bridge, meaning you probably got there at around 11 p.m.
That was all. Sounds about right, I guess. And then Nick showed up and did his falling act.
That is impossible.
What do you mean?
11 p.m. is when the murder occurred in Hazakura Temple. Thus, Wright was still there in the courtyard. There's no way that Larry could have encountered him at Dusky Bridge at that time.
Excuse me, I have an objection.
You do?
Gee, how many times do I have to say this? I'm not Larry. I'm Maurice Dunem.
It has not been proven that the murder occurred at 11 p.m. The sister only said around 11. In which case, it could have been earlier than that. Watch your footing there, Miss Francisca von Karma. The slope ahead is slippery. For there is still no way that Wright could have been at Dusky Bridge at 11 p.m. And why not? It is clearly written here in the weather data report. It took around 30 minutes for the bridge to burn out. Therefore, the bridge must have been burning until at least 11:15 p.m.
It means what exactly?
Wright did not see the bridge while it was being consumed by the flames that night. In fact, he did not arrive on the scene until after the flames had died down. Larry, you arrived at the bridge at 11 p.m. But Wright did not make it there until at least 11:15. I suggest you stop hiding things and just tell us the whole truth now then. What happened during these missing 15 minutes? I feel like I just got brutally woken up by a toilet splashback.
Oh my god. Oh, that's gross, dude. Sorry, I missed what he said after that.
Order.
So there was a missing 15 minutes prior to meeting Phoenix Wright. I hardly see that as much of a problem.
Yeah, not much of a problem at all.
Really? The bridge is burning before your eyes. There's a phone right next to it. Why then did you not report the accident?
As witness, why didn't you? Were you there simply to watch the bridge burn?
And therein lies the problem. For even after the bridge had burnt out, he was still there. Staring into space, this witness didn't even attempt to fulfill his civic duty.
That's what it sounds like.
But this is Larry we're talking about, and even he is incapable of being so stupid. Which means there has to be a reason for his inaction.
Edgy, I think it's about time I got serious with you, dude.
Just as I thought. You've been playing with us all this time.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you everything. Are you sure you want to hear it all?
Oh boy.
Yes.
I may really say it this time. Everything,
Then say it.
Hey, well, I have a terribly bad feeling about this, however. Let's have the witness finally give us the whole truth. Now, for this 15-minute gap, what were you doing, witness?
Let's see. Feel like there's gonna be a twist. Feels like there's gonna be a twist.
I'm a denim. I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing? Sketching in front of the bridge. I was whipped up into a frenzy of art. The shock and awe that I was feeling, I transferred it all directly onto the page. Before I realized it, the flames had gone out, and then he came running up.
Suppose artists can be strange folk.
That's right. I'm willing to sacrifice everything in order to draw the perfect sketch.
Including the truth from the sound of it.
Edgeworth, has this removed the last of your doubts?
Not at all, Your Honor. One very large doubt still remains.
What would that be?
This is a surprisingly believable story, especially considering the source. So why did he think he needed to hide it from us until now? I intend to drag the reason out of him.
You'll regret this, Edgy.
Very well might be. I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing?
Tell us, Larry.
My name is Larry Wright. Mistakes like that are what keep you from being popular with ladies like I am.
Oh boy, Larry.
Who exactly are you?
I'm Larry Nim, apprentice extraordinaire.
And that's what he calls himself, in any case.
And you are an artist?
Of course I'm an artist, the real thing.
Yet again, that's what he calls himself.
Names mean nothing. There is only one issue I care to discuss. What were you doing?
That's a very big issue indeed.
Hold it!
The burning bridge.
The burning bridge and everything that came with it.
So where's the sketch?
What came with it?
You want to hear this from my lips, do you, Edgy? You'll regret this. That sketch of mine is
Enough. Just take that ridiculous sketch of yours out already, witness.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean.
It does indeed appear to be the fastest solution. I'll leave it to you, Mr. Edgeworth.
What should I do?
I'm worried.
I've got a terrible feeling with this at the instant the sketch is revealed, the entire world may be changed by what is depicted there.
We gotta look at the sketch. I mean, I could be wrong, but we gotta look at the sketch.
Larry, I wonder if you could show us your sketch, please.
Well, even I couldn't have imagined it turn out like this.
Imagined what?
That Larry Stonim's debut would take place here today, like this. Oh,
Show it now.
okay, but steel yourselves. This is the world of Larry Stonim.
Why is there a person? Well.
Well, so this is Dusky Bridge, correct? Quite a large bridge, isn't it? Your response, Miss Von Karma?
Yes, well, it's a better drawing than I expected.
Isn't it? Isn't it? I struggled to reproduce those flames, I really did.
Yes, I'm sure you did.
This is going to get ugly. No one has the courage to bring it up, it seems. This mysterious flying object. Larry,
What?
the burning bridge is fine. But what is that unfortunate looking figure?
Ah, you spotted that. I thought you might.
However much I might want to ignore it, I can't.
It's Iris, of course, Iris.
What?
I wish she'd take better care of herself. We have to plan for our future, you know. What would have happened to her if she'd injured herself flying like that?
Larry, please, answer this next question honestly.
Okay.
Are you really claiming to have seen this? Are you claiming to have seen the silhouette of the defendant flying over a bridge that was engulfed in flames?
Yep, that's what I saw. And that's why I drew it. I'm an artist, a real artist.
You...
Hi! Girl, she's really high up in this picture.
Good joke, good joke.
What was that for?
This is all a bad dream. I was hitting you on the cheek to test that theory.
Please whip your own cheek from now on if you wish to test your wild theories. Anyway, no court of law will ever acknowledge that people can fly.
Actually, there is some precedent for this disease.
She was flying pretty high, my sweet Iris. She was about 30 feet above the bridge at least. It was really something to see.
30 feet above the bridge. Like a zip line?
This is some kind of mistake. Has to be some kind of mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, please bring the witnesses back down to earth.
What? Me?
The witness is your friend, is he not?
Accessory to foolishness, Miles Edgeworth.
Let's get back to the cross-examination, and by force if necessary. Mr. Edgeworth, I expect you to expose the obvious contradiction here.
Yes, Your Honor. So I've got another reason to remember this moron.
Well, what did you think of my debut piece?
Get that thing away from me.
Horrible sketch of what he saw.
Now hurry up and cross-examine him.
Oh boy, what do you think I was doing? Sketching from the bridge. I saw Iris flying, her white hood. Her white hood fluttering. There it is. Larry, there's a problem there.
Larry, what did you really see that night? Not that I particularly care.
In your position, that's just being irresponsible. I drew exactly what I saw. I'll give you a whole $1 that it's the truth.
If that is truly the case, then there's one thing that we can say for certain.
What might that be?
That person who flew over the bridge could not have been the defendant Iris.
What? What do you mean? I don't understand.
A foolhardy fool, a foolish statement by an equally foolishly foolhardy fool. How exactly can you make this claim? Tell us, Larry, according to this picture, the individual whom you say you saw was wearing a hood, correct?
Of course she was. And that rundown shack is quite away from the bridge. The hood is what told me that this floating angel was my Iris. The hood is my darling Iris, and Iris is my darling hood.
It seems there are bigger fools in this world than the one at the defense's bench. Larry, there's something you need to be made aware of. On the night of the murder, Iris wasn't wearing her hood. She had given it to Wright as a gift. Are you going to change your story now? Perhaps suggest it was Wright who took flight.
Oh, what are you talking about?
I think you understand what I mean just fine.
Why? Why did Nick have Iris's hood?
What?
Edgy, what's going on with Iris and Nick? Why, you, Nick, you dog!
I do believe that this unbelievably mysterious sketch is destined to disappear, discredited and discarded straight into the garbage.
What is it now, witness?
It feels like I've been waiting 25 years for this very day to come. Edgy, today's the day I get to completely stupefy you.
What?
What is the meaning of your outburst, witness?
I hate to have to do this, but I have some definitive evidence. He has definitive evidence.
Definitive. Evidence.
Iris did indeed come flying over the burning bridge, and I, Lariste and him, shall prove it.
Right?
I didn't expect to ask this again. We shall be needing your testimony once again. Tell us anything you know concerning the defendant as depicted in this sketch. Show us your evidence the nightmare was actually a reality.
Okay, I hope you're ready, Edgy, because I'm gonna feed you a whopping serving of pain.
You've been serving us a whopping serving of pain this whole time. Trust me.
Proof that Iris flew.
When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone. I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her. And that led me to finding a beautiful crystal sphere, half buried in the snow.
Oh, with blood on it. That's a problem.
I'm sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night.
Oh, buddy, do I have bad news for you.
Crystal sphere.
This one pretty, isn't it? But finders keepers.
Let's see. Where did you find it?
Let me see. Around here, somewhere. Looks about right.
And it was half buried in the snow.
It had pretty much stopped snowing by then. But there was still some falling as I walked to the bridge.
Lord accepts his crystal sphere.
That's mine, okay? I want it back afterward.
There's something on it.
It's like blood to me.
Oh my, it's blood.
What? Blood?
Mm-hmm. Well, we know whose sphere that is.
You ready, Edgy? By tomorrow morning, you'll be calling me Master Larry. Yeah, I like the sound of that. No one's gonna push me around anymore.
Did you want to be called Larista Nim only a few minutes ago?
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a problem. No, I'm sure that Iris was simply lost her hood. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night. Not actually one. At least I'm down a very wrong path. There actually is, bud. Another photograph.
Objection!
Yep.
Larry, that night, there was someone who lost a crystal sphere.
There was? Who was the stupid idiot?
Miss Elise Nim, the mentor to a stupid idiot.
The victim?
I have a photo of her here. And on the end of her staff, you can see a familiar-looking crystal sphere.
Hey, that's my photograph. Give it back. Ouch.
A crystal sphere like that is quite easy to find. I have one just like it on my brooch. They look nothing alike. In any case, please take a look at this. This is the victim's staff found at the scene of the crime.
The crystal sphere. It's gone.
What? What? What?
That's what does this mean?
If anyone jumped or flew across the bridge that night, it certainly was not Iris after all. She was not wearing her hood. More importantly, the crystal sphere found at the landing site was not hers either.
That means the one who flew or dropped the sphere was the victim, at least to him.
A fool alongside another fool on a fool's errand to reach a foolish conclusion. First of all, this sketch, which I prefer to call a scribble, is ridiculous. People cannot fly, thus it is rejected.
You can't do that,
And this crystal sphere, this is nothing more than a red herring. You honestly believe that? Give it some thought, and I'm sure you'll realize it was as well, Miss Miles Edgeworth. Elise was in her room on the night of the murder. There was no reason for her to go to Dusky Ridge. Therefore, this sphere cannot be related to this case. That is all. Miss Francesca von Kammer. The only people who will accept that explanation are scatterbrains and clowns.
Why are you pointing at me?
The victim's crystal sphere was found near the bridge on the night of her murder. Yet you expect us to believe that has nothing to do with the case.
That crystal sphere. It was probably thrown away at the bridge after the murder.
After the murder?
There is blood on the crystal sphere, isn't there? This naturally suggests it was thrown away after the murder took place. The killer placed it there to throw an investigation of the scene. It's exactly the same reason that he drew that ridiculous sketch.
Huh? What?
You mean?
I'm the killer. No way.
All joking aside, just when did this crystal sphere appear near the foot of the bridge? Unless this can be proven in some way, I refuse to believe this is related to the case.
She makes a valid point. Let me save here. There is no evidence that Alistanim left Hazakura Temple that night. However, if somehow this crystal sphere can be proven to have been dropped before the victim was killed, then this case is going to transform into something else entirely.
Well,
Your response, Mr. Edgeworth. I want your final opinion on the disposition of this crystal sphere. It's not related to the case, and this witness who you called will be nothing more than a monumental waste of time.
Prepare yourself for some very appropriate punishment, Miles Edgeworth.
Can I prove it? Can I prove that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder took place? Prove that the crystal... There is a crystal sphere on the hood. We prove that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder took place. I mean, technically, in his... Because he said when he saw it, would have been after the murder took place, right? Or, well, before, sorry, before. 10 to 11 p.m. From people in the Dusky Bridge. We're taking 15 minutes from now.
I mean, I think the answer is I have to, right? So yes, I can.
Can I prove it? That isn't the issue. To simply prove it, that's the only option. That's what he'd do. That's the way Phoenix Wright would do this.
Indeed. There's no option.
Your Honor, allow me to prove something to you. I'll prove that this crystal sphere is a vital link to solving this case.
You'll do that.
That look into your eyes. You remind me of Phoenix Wright when he is cornered. That should come as no surprise. Because right now I am Phoenix Wright, and I am indeed cornered.
I order you to present your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Evidence that proves that the crystal sphere was indeed dropped before the murder.
Oh boy. Crystal sphere was dropped before the murder. Now where it was here. Mostly dropped here. Well, it's half in the snow, right? Weather report. Could be the weather report. 10 p.m. Body. Courtyard. That's the actual photo that we're looking at. I would explain what happened there. A sketch. Is it this dang weather report? There's only one way to find out.
Responsive on karma.
Birds of a feather flock together. Are you familiar with this phrase, Miss Edgeworth? I think one such a bird is calling for his fellow now.
Go, Edgy, do it, prove it, win, win, win!
It's cheering. It's as tough as though I'm listening. It's as though I'm listening to the ominous cause of rape.
Edgeworth, what we'll do from here.
Let's see what additional thing here.
One more chance, Your Honor. I can turn back after all this way. Time of the murder, when the crystal sphere was dropped. I need to find proof that the latter happened first.
Evidence that proves the crystal sphere was indeed dropped before the murder. Out of the mail. So it's not the weather. Not this. Cause loss of blood. Stab in the back. I mean, maybe it's that. It could also be this. Is it?
Take that!
No, it's not. Hold on, let me. I just hold this so I don't lose too much health. Alright, let's try the. I mean, there's only so many things I can do, unless I'm actually just in a death loop here. And it has to be the autopsy report, right? Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. So it's not the weather. Let's think here. Okay. This dang thing. Current murder weapon. Blackmail.
Something I was talking to you about. We're waiting for you tonight. Did I do the... Hold on. Did I do the tracks photo? Oh, I must have. Okay. Okay. The blackmail, maybe?
Take that!
Oh my gosh, what in the world? Okay, think. Time of the murder and when the crystal sphere was dropped. It's 11 p.m. But I tried the weather and it wasn't that, right? Can I just not lose myself in
Take that!
weather? Alright, what am I not thinking of? It's not the autopsy report. It's not the weather. Both of those have to do with time. Is it because it was still snowing? So is it the picture of the crime? Like it's literally showing me the clue? Yes, it is. It's literally showing me the clue. It's literally showing me the clue, the piece of evidence that I need to present. I'm such an idiot. Okay. Okay. Moving on.
The crystal sphere, it was half buried in the snow, correct?
That's right. If it hadn't stopped snowing, well, then it would have been game over. Snow would have totally covered it.
That's all I need to hear from you, Larry. Your testimony makes one thing quite clear.
Alright.
When the crystal sphere was dropped, it was snowing, even if it was ever so lightly.
Snowing?
On the other hand, let us look at the scene of the murder. As proven earlier today, there is no snow on the victim's body. Therefore, the crystal sphere must have been dropped before the murder.
What?
Order.
On the night of the murder, the victim did indeed go to Dusky Bridge. And there, something occurred that caused the staff's crystal sphere to come loose.
Look at that event.
This sphere, there is some blood on it, isn't there? I don't know that that's the victim's blood. Allow me to raise a certain possibility at this junction. The real crime scene was near the foot of Dusky Bridge. Oh.
The murder didn't take place in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. Only a fool would suggest such a foolish piece of absolute foolishness.
Just who is the fool, and which part is so foolish, Miss Von Karma?
Have you been paying any attention this whole time, Miles Edgeworth? The sister saw everything. She saw the victim being killed by the defendant in the Hazakura Temple courtyard.
That's not exactly true, now is it? To put it more precisely, what she saw was the murder weapon being removed from the victim's body.
That's the same thing.
No, it isn't. You said it yourself.
Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed.
If that statement is the truth, then Dusky Bridge could very easily be the scene of the murder. The murder weapon was not removed, thus there was no bleeding.
You are forgetting one vital thing, Miles Edgeworth. Elise Dunham's body was found in Hazakura Temple. On foot, it takes 15 minutes to travel from Dusky Bridge to Hazakura Temple.
But it takes a lot less time on a snowmobile.
You mean to suggest someone carried the body all that way?
I've made it this far. The only place to take this is to the end. I just need to prove that my version of the events is also perfectly plausible. Indeed.
Now the defense is ready, the court would like to have an explanation. They show the method by which the victim's body was carried to Hazakura Temple.
Track photo.
On that snowy night, there is one way that a body could have been moved.
Yep. Sure is.
The snowmobile. As we know, the snowmobile was used that night. It was explained as having been used to dispose of the murder weapon, but it could also have been used to carry a body.
Order, order, order.
This is completely unacceptable, Miles Edgeworth. You've dug yourself into your own grave. What do you mean? The only one who could have used this snowmobile was the defendant. She's the one who moved the body. Doesn't that put the final nail in your coffin? You're too late, Francesca von Karma. And in fact, the defense is proving something else entirely. We have shown that this case requires further investigation. What? Where was the victim, Alistunum, really killed? If her body was removed, whatever for? And finally, just what does this image mean? Do you even need to think about that? Such a creature could never see the truth, let alone describe it. This witness certainly sits on one of the lowest possible branches of humanity. However, he would never utter a lie that could hurt a girl with whom he is enamored. He drew this, so it is something that actually happened. The defense stands firm on this point.
Edgy, thank you.
That settles it then. I cannot give a verdict under these circumstances.
Right. I seem to have fulfilled my part in this. It is just as I thought. Francesca von Karma, you make a wonderful partner. Excuse me? There was one reason, and one alone, for me being here. To expose the darkness lurking in this case, and then pass it on to Wright.
Really? That's what this is all about? He could have just told me in front of that from the very beginning. And then I wouldn't have had French whipping all.
Miles Edgeworth, I don't care about what you were here to do. This was my chance to finally grind you under my heel. A shame that your chance seems to have slipped you by.
What a shame.
This is all your fault. Such a terrible witness. You are an affront to all the legal system stands for.
Oh!
I demand satisfaction.
Is he okay?
I cannot believe that the witness's testimony relates to an actual event. However, there has to be some sort of answer for the questions it raises. Have his words here today been the truth or lies? Next time we gather in this courtroom, those are the matters that shall be addressed. I'm counting on thorough investigations by both the defense and the prosecution.
And with this, the rest is up to you, Wright.
Court is now adjourned.
To be continued. All right. here. All right. And that will be the next part for tomorrow, as it is getting late here. Thank you for tuning in. If you have, either on Twitch or on YouTube, watching the VOD, things are starting to unravel, though there's still a mystery. Now there's a flying person, the true location of the murder, and perhaps even the murder weapon. Pearls and Maya are still missing and seemingly have something to do with why Iris won't talk to us. At least not willing to tell the whole truth. Larry might have actually seen something relevant and material to the crime. That's a shocker. And Edgeworth seems satisfied that he has done his part, which means I'm sure that is not at all how it is going to go. I have a hunch that we will be seeing more of Edgeworth as this case goes on. And I assume Godot has to show up at some point too. But how exactly we're going to work our way there, it's hard to say. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful night or day, wherever it is you may be in the world. It is night for me, time to go get some rest. Remember to stay hydrated, eat some food, get some rest, and take care of yourself the best that you can. That's all that we can ask for. So with all of that being said, thank you so very much again for tuning in. I will see you next time. Good night, and bye-bye.